Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be working on a little outdoor decorating project. It just started to snow. We're supposed to see 1 to 3 inches or so today, which is kind of perfect. I'm undercover for this project, so we get to just enjoy the snow and work on decking out this table. This table right behind me. I had lemon cypress and an assortment of shade-loving perennials here for the summer, so this table needs to be cleaned. I mean, whoa. It's looking pretty bad at the moment. I did pick up this little noble fir earlier on. Benjamin and I tossed some colorful lights on there, but I'll probably take those off in favor for some white lights so that it's a little less Christmas and a little more winter, so we can keep everything on here, whatever ends up here, hopefully through January. I just kind of want it to have a winter vibe, not necessarily Christmas vibe. And I think it's time to move the heuchera into the greenhouse. What a perfect day to be out here doing this. I think what we'll do first is move everything off the table and get it cleaned, both the table and kind of the surface around it. And then I'm just gonna go around. I think I should be able to find most of what I need here at the house. I just think an assortment of pots, maybe some big pillar candles, that sort of thing out here would be nice. Some white lights for the little tree. I think I might need to go out and get some moss though. I like the big chunky moss and I'm out at the moment. So I'm gonna go down to the garden center and hopefully they have some. Okay, so let's get after the cleaning. That looks a heck of a lot better, doesn't it? And we just did soap and water. It's gonna look even better after we get done with the wax. I was really careful not to get extra water on the ground because it is so cold it would freeze, and this is a walkway, so that wouldn't be good. So like I didn't do a full-on rinse or anything. I just scraped off the stuff, like the big stuff with this brush, and then I went along with a rag, which was white, and just kind of mopped up whatever water was on there. So, you know, you could do a more thorough clean on this, but right now I think that that's great. So I'm gonna go get another rag and we're gonna apply a layer of this feed and wax right here and let it sit for 15-20 minutes and then polish it off. And I think that that will bring a richness to the wood, because you can see like this right here has dried already. And I think that that will make it look a little bit, I don't know, I think it'll just give it a nice sheen and maybe darken it up a tiny bit. And these two have been disagreeing the entire time I've been out here. Douglas and Cheddar, they do not like each other. And they usually just have kind of a low growl going on. Okay, I'm gonna grab a rag and we're gonna put some wax on it. Okay, so oh geez Louise, I got the table clean. Russell, clean table, cat with dirty paws up on it. Anyway, I got the table moved up to the house and I swapped out the black extension cord for another white one. So it kind of like, I don't know, I'll try to move it up against the edge of the house here when I'm all done. But I think at this point I just need to go gather up some supplies, some other pots. They do work, that's awesome, dude. So we need pots, candle holders, candles, moss, greens, and such. I have no idea what I'm going to end up using, so I think I'm just going to grab several things and then we'll just start arranging and hopefully it comes together and looks good in the end. I'm thinking of using these 3 hurricanes right here. They already have pine cones and moss, and one of them already has a candle. Nice. I've got a small selection of things here. I've got this smaller gray pot, a basket full of, or bucket crate full of pine cones, and then just some random containers that I thought might look really pretty with greens. They all need to be cleaned up a little bit. Look at how beautiful that urn is. We've got this one here, and then just some more rustic looking things. And I did have a tiny bit of moss. Tiny bit. I'll need more than that though, probably. So I've got a whole bunch of other things sitting out here. I'm not going to be using all of them. I just kind of wanted to have all the options out here. So look at these. I just got these. I follow an account on Instagram called Harold's Finishing Touches. They're in Australia, and I ordered 6 of these crown votive holders. Aren't they awesome? Oh. And these hurricanes and this right here I've had since our last house, and I don't think I've actually ever used them in anything around here. This is the candle holder I recently picked up on my sister and my antiquing day, and I had this multi-level container sitting around, and then a really big beautiful basket. These were in the basket. I'll have to take them out. We get too much wind. Those would be all over the yard if I left them out here. Okay, so I'm gonna get the gator unloaded, bring everything over here, and then I'm gonna run down to the garden center really quick and get some moss, because I don't really want to start in on the actual putting it together until I've got everything around me. It makes the process much quicker. I have 1 bag left. Yes. Yes, I'm so excited. I didn't know if you would have any. I thought I cleaned you out the last time I was down here.
Well, now you have.
Yes.
Yes, but we have more coming.
Good.
Yeah.
That is a glorious piece of moss right there. Whew. It's done, and I really like how it turned out. Isn't that pretty? Just simple, a lot of green, a lot of sparkly light, and all I had to buy was the little tree and a bag of moss so I could do this. Everything else I either had prepared from last year, like the dried oranges, or I just had on hand from gathering through the years. And that's the thing, you know, when you're just starting out, I remember when Aaron and I were first married, I did a ton of thrift store shopping first off and really enjoyed that. And I did get a lot of neat things. In fact, we still have some furniture pieces that I bought at thrift stores and kind of fixed up. And I always felt so proud of myself after doing that. But it takes a long time to gather supplies. Like a long time, and a lot of projects that you do, like drying oranges, those things last through the years. So, you know, the more and more you do that, and the more things that you pick up that you find that you really love, the more you can put these things together fairly easily with things you already have on hand. But I remember feeling overwhelmed in the beginning, thinking like, oh, it's going to take me forever to get to a point where I can put together something really beautiful. I did borrow things from my mom on occasion to put displays together, but it is fun now at this point, being able to go out and just kind of peruse the things that we have. And I recycle a lot of stuff. Like the pillar candles, the 2 that have 3 wicks, I used when I decorated the church with the big frame nativity picture, which was that the first winter we were in this house 5 years ago? So I've had those pillar candles sitting there for 5 years. We burned them on Christmas Eve, and then of course after Christmas I went in and cleaned up all of my stuff, and so they've just sat in my candle cupboard until today, 5 years later. You just never know what you're going to use again. So yeah, these 2 right here. These were at our Christmas Eve service several years ago. And then this one, I don't know, I just had it on hand. So I had already burned it. So it had already burned down. It's kind of dirty. I figured I didn't need to worry about cleaning things like perfectly since they're outside. Also, I did end up leaving the hydrangeas in here because the wind was actually blowing for a good part of this afternoon, and this area is more protected than I thought. So unless we get a really strong windstorm, I'm hopeful that things will stay put. Okay, so let's just start on the top here. So I got these hurricanes when we lived in our townhouse, probably, 10-ish years ago. They're from Kalelu, I think is the company's name, but I like the, I don't know what the name is for that glass. It's kind of like mottled. And they're really fun because the little piece sits up higher. So I've had pine cones rather, and moss in the bottoms, which is perfect for this display for a long time. Oh boy, hold on. My alarm's going off. That means I need to go inside and preheat the oven so I can get my breakfast casserole cooking. 350. Okay, back to the tour. And then this container, I actually put together one of our very first videos we ever did. I put together a succulent arrangement in that container. I got that at TJ Maxx years ago. And I just used the big royal pond moss or pool moss from Super Moss. And so they're just nice, great big chunks, and then they have the nice texture in there. And then rested some spruce cones from our spruce tree. And then these are the candle holders I already talked about from Harold's Finishing Touches that are absolutely gorgeous. And then I just used a mixture of greens on the tabletop here that I've been using in other Christmas projects. So we've got the fir and the princess pine and the incense cedar right there. Just a nice blend with some spruce cones and dried oranges. Second layer down, this is so simple, you guys. It's basically just finding containers and putting stuff in them. So more noble fir tips. I actually used every last bit that I had on hand. Some more spruce cones, dried oranges, another little moss bowl. I'm gonna wet this down so I can mold it a little better so that there isn't like gapping. But anyway, kind of running out of time today. And then I've got the little urn in the back. Just pop some fresh greens in there and one little pine cone. And then these hydrangeas I used in last Christmas display on our entryway table. And I gathered them up and I thought they're so pretty. They're kind of starting to crumble. That's why I don't feel so bad using them out here. If they do blow around or get damaged, these are 2 years old, so you know, I could stand to make some fresh ones. And then down here I have this cute little crate I picked up at the antique store a few years ago, and one of the wreaths. And then this is a pine cone sphere that's just, I think, wired onto chicken wire maybe. But I bought that at the garden center, I don't even know how long ago. And a few little cones. And then we've got our unique stone container. This is the garland jardiniere. And then there's the noble fir, and there's one strand of lights in there. And then this ribbed galvanized container is from Gardener's Supply. It's the largest of a set of 3 that they were carrying, I think 2 years ago. I think they might still have it. But I just popped a few pieces of noble fir in here. I mean, just popped them in there. So simple. And then right here, just a basket with leftover greens, the wreath, and a carex called Feather Falls. Quite a bit of yellow on it, but I still like the texture, and it kind of hides the floor and the cord and such. Also, we should note how beautiful this window box still looks. Do you remember when we planted this up earlier this fall? So we've got the Snaptastic red snapdragons in the back, and then the pigeon white kale, white pansies, which, you know, I think if we just groomed these up a little bit and took some spent blooms off, this window box would look pretty darn great. And then wire vine around the edge there, which is holding up to our temperatures thus far. So I'm just really happy with this little spot. It looks so nice next to our door because this is the one we go through most. So it's nice to have, you know, some things around here that look nice. So that's it, you guys, for today's project. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed it. It was just such a pleasant project out here because we were undercover. I was right by the kitchen door, so kids were in and out, and I could talk to Samantha through the door, and just, I don't know, it just felt really fun. And with the snow coming down, it did stop. But we're supposed to get a lot more tonight, so it should be a little bit more of a winter wonderland out here tomorrow. One other thing, this display should last through winter because there's nothing particularly Christmassy. I mean, except for the Christmas tree, I guess, with lights. But that looks kind of winter, though, too. I think it passes, and it can just stay out here, all of this stuff, until probably the end of January, sometime February, when I'm starting to get ready to clean everything out and get ready for spring. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Hope you're having a great day. Merry Christmas to you all. See you in the next one. Bye.